Plant-based future. Plant-based future. Plant-based future. Plant-based future. Plant-based future.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the live stream. We are here today in central London with Animal Rebellion, who are taking action on the streets of London, right in the heart of power in the UK, to demand that our government starts imminent and just transition to a plant-based food system. And so we have two demands. The first one is that the government support farming and fishing communities in that transition to a plant-based future. And secondly, that they then, with the land that is freed up after we transition to plant-based food and we're not farming animals on our land anymore, then we rewild that land in order to draw down carbon out of the atmosphere. So we'll just have a walk through the crowd today so you can get a bit of an idea of what's going on. So as you can see, there are rebels from Animal Rebellion who are taken to the streets, marching through the streets of London. It's a really great atmosphere. We've got a brilliant turnout. And we're here bringing the message to the streets of London. So as you can see, people are marching. We've got some smoke flares going off. It's very colourful and vibrant. There's music going off. It's really positive vibes. We're here basically telling the government that we have the key solution to the climate and ecological breakdown that we're all seeing real effects from currently today. In the UK even, we had 60 homes burned down this summer because of the heat wave that I'm sure we all really felt. We broke 40 degrees in London, and around the world, a third of Pakistan is underwater. There are crises happening all over that are disproportionately affecting those that contribute the least to global emissions. And one of the leading causes of climate breakdown is animal agriculture, undoubtedly. And this breakdown is happening in the form of habitat loss, extinction of species, air pollution and water pollution, land use. We're using land in a really unsustainable way by farming animals on it instead of growing plants. And yet all these issues can be solved by a transition to a plant-based future. So that's what we're here today demanding to the government. So yeah, enjoy seeing the scenes that we've got here today. In central London, we all met at Green Park this morning. It's quite a heavy police presence. There's already been a couple of arrests in the park this morning. Two rebels that you might have seen on social media pouring milk in high-end supermarkets around London. Yesterday were arrested this morning at the march, and they're just two concerned individuals who are here standing up, taking direct action against the absolute inaction that our government is basically doing. It's unjust, and we're here demanding change and asking for a solution, demanding that the solution that we're bringing is put into action. So Yeah. Yep. Just have a bit of a walk through the crowd.
That don't make you a gangster. Try picking on someone your own size or what's left on you like a hamster. That won't be an accident. I make them feel the pain. Thinking backstage food or flatulence.
So as you can see, we've got loads of ordinary people just out here on the street. I've spoken to vets, I've spoken to teachers, doctors, workers, people that are here because they're concerned about the future. And they're basically here standing up for the right of humanity, for non-human animals and for the planet, for us to be protected, for us to have the only livable future, which is in the form of a plant-based future in which we see our government transition our food system to a plant-based food system. So yeah, another interesting thing to note. So we've been taking a lot of action as part of this campaign over the past few months. A month ago, a lot of these rebels were getting involved in direct action in the form of going to distribution centres and non-violently and peacefully disrupting the supply of dairy to UK supermarkets in order to, demonstrate the harm that's being caused by dairy and the fragility of the food system that we have. Food security is going to become a massive issue as we carry on accelerating into the climate crisis, but a transition to a plant-based future would allow us to basically secure our food system, future-proof it, be able to feed everybody on this planet that needs feeding. We currently feed 80 billion land animals on this planet and 8 billion humans. We can't look after about 1 billion people around the world at the minute are starving. So we're here to say that the solution is a transition to a plant-based future. And in that transition, we don't want to leave anybody behind. So we basically had a team going out for the past month or so, going round and opening up dialogue with farmers, because we understand that this discourse needs to be happening, that they are key stakeholders in this transition and that we don't want to leave them behind. At the minute, 1 in 4 farmers are currently letting it be known that their intentions are to quit the dairy industry in the near future because it's no longer sustainable for them as a career. The government actually subsidised dairy by 90%, so a lot of the profit that farmers get comes from taxpayers. This is just a broken system. What needs to be happening is that these funds needed to be redirected into supporting farmers to rewild their land in order for us to bring back wildlife to the UK. If we rewild our farmland, we can restore a lot of key species and bring back that biodiversity. We can see hedgehogs, badgers, and yeah, we'll be able to bring our land back to nature and we can all enjoy it. And nobody will be going hungry as well at the same time. So this is a key solution. We can draw down carbon out of the atmosphere and future-proof our food system for everyone, for humans, non-human animals and the planet as well.
I'm right in front of a march that is a big gathering of about 100 people or two, and this crowd is cheering loudly, saying plant-based future and also justice for animals. Today is a big day for animal rights, for environmental rights, for young people, for old people, anyone who is concerned about the future of this planet. And we all came together to demand a plant-based future. And this is in continuation to the plant-based campaign, plant-based future campaign and rebellion ran from the 3rd of September this year for 5 days, where hundreds of people volunteered to disrupt key dairy distribution centres in the UK. And they successfully disrupted Muller, Arla and Freshways, shutting down the entire supply chain. And we saw milk shortages all around the UK, in London, in the south. And this is due to the bravery and courage of these people who decided to say no more to the total destruction of the planet that our leaders and government officials are failing to do as a part of their job. So today is a day of joy, a day of unitedness. People who took part in the campaign came down to London. Despite all odds, we are here and we are taking our message directly to the capital where it belongs. So the decision makers, the big corporation, everybody who resides here in this beautiful city will hear the message that we do need to transition to a plant-based food system. And this is not only a solution to the climate crisis, but this is absolutely the #1 solution to the climate crisis. We know because studies, many studies keep showing, including the IPCC, which is the main source of anything related to climate, is that transitioning to a plant-based food system is going to help us radically to move away from a destructive economy and move into a kinder and more sustainable world. The crowd is cheering because they know that a plant-based future is on the way, because people know that by moving to a plant-based food system, we can actually free up 76% of the land worldwide. And if you rewild that land, you're able to draw down carbon from the atmosphere that the fossil fuel industry has failed to stop in the last decades. We also know that methane in the atmosphere can be reduced much faster than carbon, which stays there for hundreds of years. So transitioning to a plant-based future is the absolute key, and that's why we are here. Just a few minutes ago, we were in Green Park gathering, and the police was walking around trying to find people to get arrested, but we are not backing up. We are an absolute love-based movement. We are here to make a change, and we are going to deliver that change in love and absolute compassion. And that's what this march is about. We bring the plant-based future with love to the capital of the city, and we are demanding a plant-based future for the UK and going on to the whole world as well. So anyone who just joined, this is Animal Rebellion, checking in from the capital of the United Kingdom in London, and this is a big gathering. It's called a big vegan takeover. Vegan activists, environmental activists, Animal Rebellion volunteers joined up in London to tell the government that we demand to transition to a plant-based food system. And we demand this as an absolutely urgent step to tackle the climate crisis. If we transition to a plant-based food system, we can free up 76% of the land worldwide. And that would massively help drawing down the carbon from the atmosphere that the fossil fuel industry has failed to do in the last decades. So anyone who hasn't seen... Right, let's hear these beautiful people cheering. So anyone who hasn't seen Animal Rebellion launched a large campaign this September, the Plant-Based Future campaign, blocking dairy distribution centres around the country, Muller, Arla, Freshways. It was massive action, and people took extreme lengths and extreme sacrifice. And so if you are one to appreciate the work, do join us. Absolutely do join us. You can find an action network form on our website. So please do go over there and sign up. And also, if you don't feel able to join at this time, you can donate, and you can find the donation button on the website as well. We do appreciate any support and help at this time. And we just stopped at the junction right now. So we are at Piccadilly Circus with hundreds of people behind me marching from Green Park and Plant-Based Future. These beautiful people behind me, many of them have been on top of silos, have been on top of lorries and trucks, blocking exits of dairy distribution centres, and now they came down to London to say, no more, we want a plant-based future, a plant-based food system for everybody, including farmers who are massively struggling with the cost of crisis, uncertain in the government. So we are demanding support. Careful. So we are demanding support for farmers, and that is entirely possible. During this dairy campaign, Animal Rebellion launched in September. A group of Animal Rebellion volunteers went to meet farmers at dairy auctions and in farmers' clubhouses to have a discussion and dialogue. It is so desperately needed because we are not separated, we are absolutely one. We are the people who are suffering the consequences of very bad decisions made at top level. The discussion went really, really good, and in just a matter of minutes and sometimes hours, the farmers really understood that we are not there to disrupt them, but we want to disrupt the system that they are also victims of. So Animal Rebellion volunteers and farmers had amazing discussions, and they agreed that everybody wanted the same thing, which is a just transition that farmers who feed this nation absolutely deserve. And we know that that transition has to be plant-based. This has been proven by science all over again and again, including the IPCC, which is the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, which is the #1 climate panel. And people are sitting down now. We are here at Piccadilly Circus, and I'm going to go off to give a speech, passing it to another live. Love you lot, and March.
Hi everyone, so I'm just here today in the march with Kerry, who's about to talk to us a bit about, what's going on today. How are you finding today, Kerry?
Well, the police presence has been quite heavy, but I think we've successfully made it out of the park, and now we're approaching Trafalgar Square. As my London geography correct, I don't know where I am, but yeah, no, everyone's in a really kind of jubilant mood, and everyone seems to be really passionate about the reasons why they're here.
Yeah, it does seem like very good vibes, doesn't it? I think the sunshine and the 17 degrees in London in October is helping with that. But yeah, I want to ask you a bit about the farmer dialogue situation, because you can tell us more about that. So
during the dairy blockades, we went to auction houses and also county fairs to talk directly to animal farmers. And surprisingly, we were warmly welcomed. Some farmers were very scared of us. They reported that they've had death threats and things from vegans before, so obviously they got a negative image from the media as well. Mm-hmm. But the majority of farmers were just open to talk to us because they don't agree with us. So at one auction house we were warmly welcomed in by the manager. He sat down, he spent an hour talking to us, gave us free tea and coffee, and he gave us a space to be able to talk about our beliefs, what we need to happen to be able to solve the climate crisis and the animal emergency. And you could see at times that they really were taking on board what we were saying. But we also gave them space as well to tell us about why they farm. So a lot of it is linked to tradition, and they can't see any other way of life because obviously the government isn't giving them a different way of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think there's I was just talking about it before, that there's like a study come out to say that 1 in 4 farmers are currently planning on calling it quits and going out of the industry. Like, did you have that sense from people?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that we heard from most farmers was just how financially they are struggling. I mean, one dairy farmer told me she hasn't made profit in years. With the spiralling costs of feed and fertiliser, the subsidies being removed or not being removed, or whatever the government is planning on doing, we don't actually know. They've backtracked last week on it. The future seems very uncertain for them, and they don't feel as if the UK government really cares about British farming, which obviously, from our point of view, we don't want farmers to farm animals. We want UK farmers to grow and to provide our plant-based food. So the idea that we would import cheap meat and dairy, that is just going to be the worst case situation. So what we need to do is unite with farmers to stop the government from moving towards this kind of importing from other countries and offloading our carbon emissions.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that experience and that, what went on, because I'm sure a lot of people are interested to get a bit of an insight into what that dialogue with farmers looked like. and it's really great to hear that those sort of discourses have, you know, kicked off and going in the right direction. So thank you so much for that, Kerry, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the march. Brilliant. So yeah, there you go. We just heard from Kerry, who's someone who was part of the Farmer Dialogue team in September, and this is something that is, you know, really important to us at Animal Rebellion. We understand that in this transition to a plant-based future, we don't want anyone to be left behind. So having this discourse is a vital part of us, you know, fighting for the change that we need to see to protect our future and the future of the planet. So, as you can see,
the solution to not only the climate crisis, but also the massive injustice that is paid to animals and also humans trapped in that industry. So anyway, the story goes like this. 3.5 years ago, just a handful of people decided to make a change, and that resulted in the largest ever supply chain disruption this September. If you look around, you might think, we should have thousands here, right? Hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people. Because this is about the future of everything and everybody on this planet. Human and non-human animals.
She's so fucking stupid.
But don't worry about the numbers. Because if we look back at history, we know that only a handful of people will able to bring that change. We know the recipe for change. And we are stepping on those shoulders of those historical famous people, for example, the civil rights movement, who delivered this change before. The freedom riders in the civil rights movements, but no more. But a few people who decided enough was enough. And they took over buses and trains, and they showed that it's possible to make change. And that's what we are today. So everybody who is sitting on the ground here today, in the middle of London, is a change maker, is a leader, and this group is going to bring on the change, not only for the animals, but I do believe we are now the animal rights movement and the environmental movement combined together, who are going to lead this beautiful plant-based future. Don't worry about numbers and the media, and don't worry about the police, because we see extreme support. Throughout this dairy campaign, we have seen Greenpeace come out and support us. We had many private conversations, and we know that they want to change along with us. They are looking at us for advice, and we have the friendship and camaraderie of many vegan groups like PETA or Viva. We have elections from other movements. Last night, Just Stop Oil decided to dedicate an entire evening, a panel discussion to veganism. How beautiful is that? Woo! And that is the testimony that what we set out to do working. No matter what anyone says, it is working. It's been working. We're going to keep going forward. And so, at the beginning, I do believe that this group is going to lead us into this beautiful future, which is not only plant-based, but is also kind on everybody. And the reason why I'm saying that, is because I have seen people on top of silos, and I have seen people in front of trucks, and I have seen these people sitting in fountains and in front of lorries. And we do that because in our heart, we hold this peace and love for not only people, but non-human people as well. And that makes us stronger than anyone else on this planet. So going forward, keep that spirit with you and that love with you for what we are fighting for, what we are working for. Believe that the plant-based future is possible, because I believe it with every single part of me that is possible. And let's lead the way, let's show the way going forward, and let's have a fun day in London together. Well done, everybody.
Thank you so much, Laura. And yeah, I was just going to remind everyone, if you have, at the beginning we handed out some flares, like some smoke flares, chalk, stickers. if you do have any of those on you, make sure you use them throughout the march. You don't have to do it right now. But yeah, and if you've got like a bucket of chalk, just hand it out to everyone, and we're encouraging everyone to paint the streets today in central London, and let everyone know that we need a plant-based future. But yeah, let's keep going. I think we've run out.
Most kids, so we get kids that like me using the
Hello, here at the march. My name's Marcus. I'll just quickly swing around so you can see me. I've joined Animal Rebellion today because this is an incredible group of people and an incredibly important cause, as we've heard in the speeches just now. Probably the most important thing to do about the climate crisis and the ecological crisis is to go to a plant-based food system. I've recently taken action with Animal Rebellion myself in the dairy campaign that we just heard about. Dora was speaking about people climbing on top of silos, which is one thing I did. And we basically shut down the biggest dairy distribution site in the country for the whole day. And yeah, it's an extremely powerful thing to do, and it really has very important effect of getting into the media, of getting the conversation about this incredibly difficult topic going and pushing that message. So I feel very strongly about going plant-based and having those conversations with people, although it isn't easy. So yeah, today we started at Green Park and we are now at Piccadilly Circus, where we've just heard some good speeches. We have a man writing plant-based future in beautiful letters on the ground here. It's really nice with chalk. The march is just starting again, so I'll be following with my camera from the side. Yeah, if you are watching and you weren't able to join today, train strikes and everything making it difficult, or you're just new to the issue, I can just encourage you to come around, join the training. This is a really great part of our movement, is that we really look out for one another and prepare each other really well for taking action. So there are people that do what's called non-violence trainings, and these are like really good trainings the most part of the day, which seems a lot, but the civil rights movement people in the 60s did week-long non-violence training, so just a day is not that much in comparison. Anyway, so they're really good trainings. You learn all about non-violent direct action and how to apply it, and a bit of de-escalation, which is really important in case there's anyone with aggression nearby, to try to calm the situation down. Yeah, so come and join the non-violence training if you can, and then that'll get you ready for any sort of action that you are likely to take. Also, I really recommend doing what's called a Know Your Rights training. Know Your Rights trainings are offered regularly as well. They inform you about the law and the potential likely legal consequences and what it means to be arrested, the whole process. I mean, a lot of people think it's like a really scary thing, and it is definitely a racist system. So if you're a white person, you tend to get treated much better than marginalized groups of any sort. So that's definitely something to take into consideration. But yeah, go to a Know Your Rights training, go to a non-violence trainings is my advice, and please join us. If you can't join in any way, then we do ask you to donate if at all possible, because actions and banners and all that we do cost money, and that would be appreciated, so it can help or sort of the scenes work if you can't get arrested. For example, the people that get arrested picked up at police stations, so that's called police station support. Really important and really appreciated when I have been arrested before. Coming out in the middle of the night was really extremely powerful. That someone was there to pick us up. We're just here at the Great Windmill Street McDonald's, where someone just got arrested. I'll just try to follow her. I'm not sure why, but it's unfortunate that people tend to do that. Oh, maybe they're just doing a stop and search. This is the other thing that police officers tend to do more, to discriminate against activists. Yeah, that's obviously not fun, but in a Know Your Rights training, you can find out why such things happen, what we can say and what we can't say. For example, you don't have to give any of your details to the police in a stop and search or when you're being arrested. Only once you get to the police station. That's a really important one to remember. You can always say no comment. The police do have to tell you a lot.
Where's John? Come on, let's do it.
Anyone who is just joining, we are here in the central of London with hundreds of people. People are chanting plant-based future. This is a big vegan takeover. It is a group of hundreds of people, I suppose, demanding plant-based future and justice for animals. And this is a glorious day because this is a time when veganism and environmental justice and animal justice are uniting together in one, and say that the absolute solution the climate crisis system and plant-based future. And this is in continuation to Animal Rebellion's plant-based future campaign in September, when hundreds of people blocked Arla, Muller and Freshways distribution centers, dairy distribution centers. And this massive action has been actually followed by some small-scale actions, because it's really, really important that when these actions happen, it's taken back to the regions by the people. So all towns and all cities around the UK get the message. It's not only for London, it's for the whole UK. And so Animal Rebellion has got a number of regional groups, local groups, who take action. And one of the local groups took action yesterday, and they went into Fortnum and Selfridges yesterday, peacefully and non-violently, as we always do. And they picked up milk from the shelves and poured it out. This is not the first time it's been happening. So volunteers of Animal Rebellion did this before in London, and that actually got Animal Rebellion and the message huge media attention. And the demand is for farmers to transition to a plant-based food system, and the government to support that transition, and to rewild the freed up land, which is 76% worldwide. And so that's the action that happened yesterday in Selfridges and Harrods. It was already on BBC yesterday. It was already retweeted by Talk TV, and actually they said, what are the arguments in favor of non-violent direct action? So that's the change they're bringing. We're not only changing discussion around the food system, but we're changing the whole conversation around non-violent direct action that has to be taken. And we are going to play a clip now showing what happened yesterday at Selfridges and Fortnum. Right, so I'm just hearing that there's actually an action happening live right now. So we are going to switch to that and you will see what's happening on the ground with milk pouring around the country.
That on the steps. Okay, will do. So, why are you here? What?
It's really scary here. It's really scary doing this, and it's only because it's even more scary about how nobody's paying attention to what we're doing to the environment. That's more terrifying than doing this.
Thank
So,
you.
really want to draw attention to it, so people can change their ways and change the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you, madam, would you like to explain why you're here?
I'm scared for our future. I'm scared that we're not doing anything. And
I've got more insight. Just put it up on the Intel channel.
right now, so I'll try my best.
Thank you.
We're on now 101. We don't have a future if we don't transition to a plant-based food system, everyone.
We're here at Farlow's Hunting, Fishing and Shooting Supply Shops, where supporters of the Animal Rebellion have poured red paint all inside the shop and have put paper flowers all over the entrance to show that we can have a plant-based future and that the practice of hunting, shooting and fishing are outdated, do not belong in our world. The exploitation of animals does not belong in our world. These supporters of Animal Rebellion have shut down the 175-year-old hunting supply shop to show that we will not stand by as the planet is exploited, as non-human animals are exploited, as humans are exploited, and that we need a plant-based future now. you just stay calm, gents, this is non-violent. The police will be here very soon. If you just stay calm, call the police, they'll be here and they'll deal with it, gents. Hey, it's alright, we're non-violent, the police will be here soon, you can call the police.
Anyone who is just joining, this is Animal Rebellion's march in London, in the centre, the capital of the city, and we are here at the big vegan takeover. You see hundreds of people behind me who are marching because just a few weeks ago Animal Rebellion disrupted 4 key dairy distribution centres in the UK, and that action was followed by a lot of local actions because people are taking that power to their regions and they want their local constituencies to also take note on what's happening and also make a change where they live. And so one of the actions that happened yesterday was by a small group of people. They went into Fortnum and Selfridges and they poured milk out. And that action is actually really heartbreaking. Basically, a lot of mother's milk mixed into one carton box. It's absolutely horrendous. So this really shouldn't exist anymore, environmentally as well as morally. And this is a really brave and courageous action. People walked into, as I said, a Fortnum and Selfridges. And this action has actually gained massive media attention. Activists were already involved on BBC, and also Talk TV said, what are the arguments in favor of NVDA? So this was tweeted by them, and I think it really shows that these kind of actions taken by Animal Rebellion do not only bring the surface of animal farming to the public discussion, but also it encourages people to take action non-violently, which is why Talk TV is tweeting in favor of non-violent direct action. And so, like I said, the action at Fortnum and Selfridges happened yesterday, and we are going to show you what happened during that action right now in a little clip.
Okay, I took action throughout September with Animal Rebellion, and I'm taking action again today. Because my daughter deserves a future. All our loved ones deserve a future. And unfortunately, Liz Truss is not listening to the experts. She's not listening to Harvard and Oxford. Instead, she's plunging us further into a climate, ecological, and cost of living crisis. A plant-based future is the only future where we can all thrive and survive, and our government is doing nothing to support this.
Can you tell us what's going on, please? You are protecting.
Getting arrested for something that supposedly happened yesterday in
his arm and stuff like that. By all means, just don't encroach on the officers and stuff like that. Say the
Being arrested today because I'm standing up for our future. I'm standing up for a plant-based future where Liz Truss and Ranil Jawaharlal are not listening to the government, not listening to our needs. The experts at Oxford, the experts at Harvard, they're just not listening to us. They're demolishing the future for our children, for my daughter who needs a future. You can see these guys now, I came here to be with vegan friends today, and now they're taking my bag off. This is almost abuse.
So, can you take your bag off first, please? Yeah? There'll be a lot easier for you to do it as opposed to us. Please? Okay.
Oh, we are so much.
Make sure you don't break my arms, guys. You can loosen the straps.
We are so
it's not hard, take the bag off.
just. We are so much more, so much more, so much more than just a just.
We are capable of empathy and love.
We are capable of empathy and love. We are capable of empathy, capable of empathy, capable of empathy and love.
Like, what's your character? Do you want to
We can choose to be complicit or take action. We can choose to be complicit, choose to be complicit, choose to be complicit or take action.
Love you, Steve.
Legend! We love you!
We love you. Guys, plant-based future for everyone. Save our children. Plant-based future. Let's trust. This is what you're causing. We need you to start listening to us. We need a plant-based future. Save our children.
There's some chairs behind you, mate.
See the effects of climate change across the world. Why aren't you doing anything? Why are you making them do this to us? All I want is a future for my daughter. Plant-based future. Plant-based future.
Plant-based future.
Plant-based future. Plant-based future.
You're an excellent parent. You're doing what needs to be done.
I'm doing this for my little girl. I'm doing this for all of our loved ones. Come and join us. Join Animal Rebellion.
I thought that was going right there.
Hold on, Steve.
Hi everyone, welcome to the live stream if you've just joined recently. I'm Jo, I'm here today in the centre of London with Animal Rebellion, and we're basically taking to the streets, bringing our message and our demand to the government of a plant-based future, to the heart of power in the UK, the centre of London. And yeah, basically we're here with two key demands. The first one is that the government supports farming and fishing communities in the transition to a plant-based future. And our second demand is that as part of that transition, all the land that we'll be able to reclaim from animal agricultural land, we'll be able to rewild that land and be able to draw down carbon out of the atmosphere. And it's it is the key solution to the climate crisis. It's the only hope that we've got left of a livable future for everybody, and to protect our planet, the only home that we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and grab some people in the march and have a bit of a chat with them about why they're here today. So are you all right to have a quick chat with us about why you're here today? So how's it going?
It's going well. It's a really nice day, to be honest. I thought it might have been a bit rainy, but coming down from Manchester for this, so up there it's a bit wet, but down here it's a nice day for it. Weather's on our side. So
brilliant. Yeah, it's nice to see so many Northerners around. I've come down from the north myself. So why are you here, like, taking part in the Animal Rebellion stuff, I guess?
Because we have precious little time to fix the problems that have been caused by previous generations of industrialization, pollution, destabilization of ecosystems, and a plant-based future. And what we're suggesting the government do is where we support these farmers into these transitions. It solves so many problems that comes with climate change, which comes with the extinction of certain animals, the destabilization of their habitats and their ecosystems. There's just so many things that can be solved with this plant-based future, and it feels like such a simple step to make, such a simple transition. We want the government to help every step of the way, help all these people that are in established businesses and industries to move their businesses to a more sustainable way of making sure we actually have a future for our children, for ourselves. Otherwise, what is there? There's nothing left.
Yeah, and what is it like being an Animal Rebellion action?
Oh, it's great. Like, the energy with everyone here is so great. You just feel like a sense of belonging. So it's like everywhere you go, there's friends. Like, you might not know them. Like, I know you and I are going to get along. That's what the feeling is like. From day one, I've always felt like I've had friends everywhere around me. So.
Brilliant. I can definitely feel it too. I've noticed, like, as we started off at Green Park this morning, didn't we? And then we've like walked through the streets of London, and the march has grown. And there's so many conversations going on around us. People flying in. It's just really great, positive vibes. And I think the public can see that, and you know that's like the right way to be putting the message across. And yeah, it's brilliant to see. Thank you so much for talking to us, and enjoy the rest of your day. That's brilliant. So let's keep on going and see if we can chat to anyone else. Excuse me, are you all right to chat to us on the live stream about why you're here today?
Yes.
Yeah. So hi.
Hi.
How's your day going?
It's going really well. Yeah. I'm really. I can't believe I'm here. I'm just a mother, but I'm here because I have to speak out for the animals. I watched Gary Orosky 5 years ago, and it totally changed my life. And I'm here for my children as well. I want to protect my children's future and everyone else's future. That's why I'm here.
And what's it like? Like, how has your experience today been?
It's obviously everyone's really supportive and kind and gentle, the people that are on the march. We've had lots of thumbs up from people, passers-by, which has been lovely. We just don't understand why everyone's not joining us, really. It's just a no-brainer for the planet, for the animals and for our own futures. It's so crucial, which is why, you know, as a middle-aged mother, I'm walking the streets on a Saturday.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here, and it's great to talk to you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brilliant stuff. So yeah, some really amazing people out here on the streets taking action on behalf of their loved ones, because it's the right thing to do. To be out here, you know, getting this demand across to the government, we're offering them a solution, and we want to see this solution being fast-tracked into action. And this is why people are prepared to take direct action. You know, history's shown us that in order for people to, get the social change that we need to see to move things in the right direction, people have had to make sacrifice, people have been unpopular. You know, they've had to come out on the streets and make a stand for what they believe in. And you can see this happening today. You can see so many passionate people just standing up for what's right. It was really great to be a part of it. I'm sure everyone's, you know, making a load of new friends. If you want to be a part of this incredible movement, then please do get involved. Animal Rebellion has another big campaign coming up. Maybe you saw what we did in September, had a bit of FOMO, thought that's something that you might want to be getting involved in. Well, good news for you is that there's going to be a big campaign happening in spring next year. And we've got a call to action out at the minute where you can sign up and show an interest in being a part in the next campaign. And if being out here is not possible for you, then you can always donate and support us financially. That's something that we, you know, would really appreciate. It costs money for us to be able to carry on doing these things, and any support that you could donate would be absolutely amazing. We recommend that people, if they can afford to, donate 1 hour's wage a month. So if you earn £10 an hour, then £10 a month. That kind of figure, or just whatever you can spare, it would be hugely appreciated, so we can carry on doing this amazing stuff that we do. You're going to see a lot more footage throughout the day. There's still lots to go on yet. If you are in and around London, please come down be a part of this amazing movement and this amazing day of action in London. Bring the money.
And it's back to me, Marcus, here. If you've just joined in, we are Animal Rebellion marching today from Green Park through the centre of London to demand a plant-based future. As you can see in the banners right behind me, it's our clear message today, because we know a plant-based future is the only livable future. That's certainly what the science says and what I strongly believe, because of the way that animal agriculture is so destructive to our planet and so destructive to the animals and to the land, the soil erosion, the chemical fertilizers that are being used. Oh, hello. We've just arrived at Waterloo Place, corner of Pall Mall, and we've got some people that have apparently poured blood, fake blood, here down some steps of Farlow's, which is right at 9 Pall Mall, and these people are being surrounded by police, people that are obviously arresting them. We've got leaves and beautiful flowers, painting on an easel. We've got fake blood all over the steps on some police people's clothing. We've got at least 3 people sitting there waiting to be arrested, I believe. You might ask, what is that like, getting arrested? Well, I've experienced it myself. It's actually quite a privilege in this country, because we don't usually get drowned in tear gas, or we don't usually get beaten up by police people as white people, that is. Marginalized groups in this country, unfortunately, do witness more violence in this. Interesting, just being distracted by police people running. But yeah, so coming back to the arrest process. So they take you, it usually takes quite a while for them to gather everything, gather themselves. If you go floppy, they'll carry you with 5 people to a police van, and then after some time they will drive you to a police station. If you're being arrested, if they don't have some police station, they might be a which is also happened. Anyway, they'll take you to the police station, then you go to what's called check-in desk, where you see some sort of sergeant that usually just works behind the desk, and they take your details. That's where you give them your name and your address, nowhere before that, and your birth date. And then you, yeah, they ask you a lot of questions about your well-being and your had any mental health issues.
Hi everyone. You'll see we're outside Farlow's. So Farlow's is a shop, a business, a high-class business that pride themselves on being experts and specialists in hunting, shooting, and fishing equipment.
Hunting, shooting, and fishing equipment. Now we know why we're here and why blood has been poured.
So
oh yeah, you can see it in the windows. There is what you can see, fishing equipment and fishing gear there. So that's the reason why this was the target today. Anyway, coming back to the arrest process, just in case you're interested, you get checked in at the desk. They take your details, and then after a while they walk you into a police station. So then you've got a toilet in there, a bed, a mattress, and a button to call, and a little wash basin in some of them to wash your hands. Apparently the CCTV is filming you at all times in there, except it's pixelated when you're on the loo, so apparently that bit they don't watch you, but that's what they tell you anyway. And yeah, so then you can sleep, or you can ring the bell and ask for water, food, vegan food. It's fairly good. The vegan lasagna is actually quite nice, a bit salty, but they've also got vegan all-day breakfast in the police station. And then looks like some other camera. Yeah, so you get to ring them to make a phone call. We usually call back office or call a loved one. You can ask them for a book or for You can ask them for pen and paper to write stuff down, which is usually quite a nice thing to do with all the experiences that you've just had. And then it takes, in my experience, yeah, you want to keep the speech? Yeah, I'll wrap up. That's a good point. Yeah, you spend a while in the police station, then eventually you get released. We'll tell you more details another time, but for now I think it's good to go to the speech. So over to whichever camera is nearest.
Extinction, human disease, and of harrowing, unrelenting animal cruelty. And I share with you the rage that in the midst of this horror, that there are still those who have reframed murder as entertainment. I am talking about hunting. Because of all the crimes against animals, there is still something utterly repugnant about killing for pleasure, about deliberately seeking out the cries of fear, about deliberately seeking out the drawing of blood, the ripping of flesh from bone, of the dying of the light in the animal's eyes, and then dressing it all up as sport with dress codes and bizarre rituals. Hunting for me is the very embodiment of speciesism, the myth of human supremacy that has brought us to this place of ecological breakdown and climate emergency. Every year, 60 million pheasants and partridges are raised in factory farm conditions, finally released, panicking, disorientated, only to be shot for those who have paid for the privilege. Snares laid down to trap and kill animals regarded as a threat to those birds, but in reality catching anything that fall within their path. Precious moors incinerated in a climate emergency, and protected birds shot to support grass shooting, again for those who have paid for the privilege. Foxes chased and torn apart under the pretense that they've wandered into a trail hunt. Up to 10,000 young fox cubs ripped to pieces by hounds, fish ripped from their habitat, thrown onto riverbanks, and then they, or the irony, the hunters and the shooters, claim that they are the true stewards of the land that humans have altered so tragically that each day in a wild animal's life is already a battle for survival. This is the epitome of greenwashing over rivers of blood. Look at this shot. How beautiful it is. A temple to slaughter. We are in the 6th mass extinction, and every single animal life lost today is a crime, is a travesty. I want to read out the words of the founder of Extinction Rebellion, one of the founders, Simon Bramwell, given at the start of the March for Nature last year, and he said this: I've been asked here today to speak on behalf of the other than human, to give voice to the trees, the oceans, the millions of species we share this planet with, who give so much. It is both an honor and an arrogance of privilege to do this. It's inadequate to the task. Why? Because I cannot scream with the force necessary to capture the scale of suffering and wanton annihilation the natural world is undergoing. I cannot weep enough tears or rage with enough ferocity. My heart cannot contain enough grief. My voice cannot express the magnitude of the cries of the animals murdered by the atrocity that is animal agriculture. It cannot match the screams of boxers torn apart for sport or the agonies of whales choking on plastics. My voice cannot compete against the sounds of extinction on this planet. It cannot reproduce the deafening silence of the species we have killed. In that speech, I followed up with my own. And in that I said, we have to listen to the science, because the science is telling us that the only sustainable food system, the only food system that gives us a chance of survival is plant-based.
Yeah, baby!
It's plant-based. But we have to stop fighting that, because only once we stop fighting it can we come together to make it work. We talk about systemic change, and one of the clearest signs of our ability to change will be our willingness to confront century-old traditions, I'm talking about eating meat, that are no longer working for us and have never worked for the animals. We have to challenge speciesism, racism, sexism, and any kind of ideology that places life on any kind of scale of value. Finally, we talk about love, and the greatest act of love is to extend it to those whose voices we have so far chosen not to hear, whose languages we have so far chosen not to understand, and whose terrible lives and deaths go unseen, unacknowledged, a universe of suffering underpinning almost every so-called innocent human activity today. Animal Rebellion, the host of today's events, had two demands: that the government support farmers to transition to a plant-based food system now, and that the government commit to rewilding that freed up land as part of a broader program of carbon drawdown. Because by doing this, we cancel out the multiple evils of animal agriculture, of ecological destruction, of human suffering, of corporate bondage, of social despair. And because by adopting a plant-based food system, we stand up for the end of animal suffering, for a food system that nourishes us all, for a world in which humanity finally becomes the true stewards of life that we were always meant to be, for a natural world that is flourishing and restored, in which we stand up for a chance of a stable planet for our children. Listen to that, because nowhere in that world will be the space or the desire to kill animals, to make them suffer, to hunt them and call it sport, because we will have finally evolved beyond that. I am so proud to be vegan. So let's reclaim that term from the myths that continue to plague it, and instead embrace it, proclaim it for the philosophy it has always been, the belief that it has always embodied, that of life, love for all life on earth, all life on earth. We are vegans! What we do today, in the next 3 or 4 years, is going to determine the future of humanity. And so I want to end with Simon's words. Acting for nature means liberating nature, transforming animal agriculture, disrupting hunts, dismantling traps, rewilding land, reclaiming land for those who have been so cruelly dispossessed. We need to take murderous corporations to task. We need to hold governments to account. We can become nature's voice if we listen deeply enough to what love for the life on this planet asks of us. Because everything we do now is vital. Every act of change we make to our lives, every sacrifice we make becomes a gift to the future. This is how we begin to come back to nature, by our active love burning more fiercely than the wildfires, by our roars being louder than the floodwaters, by our actions becoming prayer. We are human alongside badger and goat, alongside ocean and oak, alongside pig and cow, alongside fox and river, alongside hare and mountain. Act now.
Thank you, Val.
Yep, will do. All right, thanks. Right, everyone. So, yep, welcome to the live stream if you've just joined. Hi, I'm Jo. I'm here in London with Animal Rebellion, and we're here today bringing our message to central London. There's hundreds of people who've all come out on the streets and are marching, and yeah, it's just really great vibes. Just been a really excellent, moving speech from Belle Jacobs, which we'll have just seen, about why we're here today, why these actions are taking place. We're outside Farlow's, which is a hunting shop, and rebels have just been in there and taken non-violent direct action by spilling some red paint in there to demonstrate the blood on the hands of the people that hunt animals. It's just one of the worst forms of animal exploitation. The reason that we're all here today is we're demanding CNN to all animal exploitation, and to see a transition to a plant-based future, one in which animals won't be exploited anymore. We'll be able to secure our food system, and we'll be able to have a livable future on this planet for everyone. So yeah, we'll just start. It looks like the march is moving again. So we'll just take a steady stroll through. You can see a bit about what's going on here. And if you're wanting to get involved, then please check on our social media. We've got links on there for you to sign up to our call to action, because there's going to be another big campaign happening again, even 10 times bigger than what happened last month. You might have seen that we stopped the supply of dairy all across the south of England and the Midlands. And we're now mobilising more and more people so that we can take even bigger action than that, to put an end to these destructive industries such as the animal agriculture industry, which is a leading cause of climate breakdown. And yet we are offering a key solution to the government, which is a just transition to a plant-based future, one where we are able to repurpose the land that's currently used for animal farming in the UK, and rewild that land, so that we can bring back biodiversity to the UK, return our land back to its natural form, where we have badgers, hedgehogs, beavers will be able to come back to the UK, all these native species that we all know and love. And yet we're basically here making that demand, because once we rewild our land and we stop using it for animal farming, we'll be able to draw down carbon out of the atmosphere, and this crisis that we're all facing, this climate and ecological collapse, we'll be able to figure out.
So,
is it still on us?
Yeah. No, sorry. It was.
If you have just joined, this is Animal Rebellion with hundreds of people demanding a plant-based future in the capital of the UK, in London. If you're here in London, do come down, join us. We're going to be around for a couple of more hours, and it has been a really amazing day so far. So we have been marching from Green Park, went through Piccadilly Circus, and on the way, amazing, courageous people poured milk all the way on the street, symbolizing this is the end of dairy now. And it's been really clear for the past decades that dairy is dying as an industry, also morally, which is what vegans have been speaking about for decades, but also it's dying in terms of the farmers' opportunities to sustain that industry. And we know that farmers are in deep trouble because of uncertain subsidies, because of the cost of living crisis, because of the increased cost of fuel, fertilizer and feed, the 3 Fs that they need to sustain their operations. And we know this because during our last campaign, the Plant-Based Future campaign in September, a group of Animal Rebellion volunteers went to speak to farmers directly, and they told us that what they want is what we want, which is a transition from this dead industry, which is what the milk, the dairy and the meat industry are. So that's why we are here today in London, to take that demand to the capital and to make sure that the government hears this message. And this is really an opportunity for Liz Truss, and I think that's been really clear through this campaign, is that it is the absolute responsibility of the Prime Minister to address the climate crisis and take meaningful positive actions, because promises and targets don't mean anything. What we need now, at this time, at this climate, is change. And we know that you have to start it somewhere, and transitioning to a plant-based food system is the most important and probably most impactful way to start. Because if you transition away from animal farming, you can free up 76% of land worldwide. And if you rewild the land, you can draw down carbon from the atmosphere. Also, by rewilding the land and the oceans, you can reintroduce biodiversity, you can reintroduce life. And that is essential for the health of this planet. So really transitioning to a plant-based food system is not only helpful for animal rights and for people who care for the environment, the natural world, but for anyone who cares about the climate justice and our future. So that's why we've got these people behind me, and I'm going to ask someone about how they feel about this day. Hi, I would love to ask you about how you feel today. Why are you here?
Why am I here? Oh, it's a microphone. Okay, cool. I'm feeling the energy is really, really great. It's been really positive. Had a lot of fun along the way. People talking, throwing paint around, it has definitely been vegan chaos this afternoon. I think everyone is really, really empowered to take part. And we're having fun. Oh God, no!
Why do you think people were pouring milk before? Because we have seen people take milk bottles out and pour them in the ground. Why do people do that?
Basically we're saying milk was never meant to be for us. It's not for human consumption. It was meant to be for the calf, for the baby cow. We're just showing it's totally unnecessary. We do not need it. And it's also destroying the planet. The dairy industry is one of the biggest contributors to climate change. We've got to go this way.
Thank you so much. Wow. Okay. So, right, that was one of the volunteers, and we're going to switch to an action happening right now.
Actually, the majority of the public are against hunting, shooting and fishing, but the government is still allowing this to happen. You may have seen in the media this case after case of trials being taken, people being taken. Ready?
Yeah.
But that's exactly why we're here. Whenever you've done, just sit down by your square case or just stand next to it with your
Hello, would you mind telling me
for what it is you've done here today, why you're here.
We're protesting hunting, and we think that the government should listen to the public and stop the abuse of animals from continuing here. So just here peacefully, and personally, I'm just here on behalf of all the animals.
What sort of a place is this that you've targeted today?
It's a hunting and shooting supply shop.
Okay, thank you very much. Same question to you. Would you mind telling me why you're here and what the action is and why you've taken this action today?
The animals can't do this themselves. None of them want to be hunted for a sport. We don't need to do that. It is a completely nonsensical method of interacting with nature, and it just needs to stop. We need to reduce violence in this world, and the legal methods of protesting haven't worked. Placards and marches, they don't work. The way that we need to do it is by taking a strong stance in civil resistance. I've signed countless petitions, and still rich people continue to hunt. Fox hunting and trophy hunting, it's sick, and we need to stop.
Thank you very much. Hello, madam. Would you like to tell me why you're here today? What it is you've done today?
We are hunting, hunting in the UK. We are here randomly hunting, showing ourselves, hunting supplies to children, and we want to
It genuinely shocks me that stuff like this is still legal nowadays.
People gonna rise like the wall. We're gonna shut this system down. In the voice of my great granddaughter, singing animal justice now. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna shut this system down. In the voice of my great granddaughter, singing animal justice now. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna shut this system down. In the voice of my great granddaughter, singing animal justice now. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna shut this system down. In the voice of my great granddaughter, singing animal justice now.
Yes, because we are talking about some time. Come on, guys. Yeah, all right. Don't give it a figure. Yes, I'll punch the head till you work out what it is. Look, you're all right. Yeah, that's something I've just come on.
Animal, my friend, you will not walk alone. I will walk with you and sing your spirit home. Activists, my friend, you will not walk alone. I will walk with you and sing your spirit home. Cows and pigs, My friends, I will not walk alone. I will walk with you and sing your spirit home. Fishers, my friends, you will not walk alone. I will walk with you and sing your spirit home. For and dear, my friends, you will not walk alone. I will walk with you and sing your spirit home. Activists, my friends, you will not walk alone. I will walk with you and sing your spirit
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So Animal Rebellion is here today, demanding that the government support farming and fishing communities in an urgent and immediate transition towards a plant-based future, and that land which will then be freed up will then be used for rewilding. So today we are taking acts of mass love and resistance to the capital, taking it towards the government, demanding that they support a transition, demanding that they give us a chance of a livable future, a much better future than the future that we are heading towards now. So if you're watching from home and want to get involved, sign up to take action in 2023 in spring. If you're out of the UK, then you are able to donate to Animal Rebellion, but stay tuned for more updates. We are creating vegan chaos today. It's going to be awesome.
They don't come. She said it.
Every day. Speak up. Every day. Speak up. Every day. Stand up. Rise up. Stand up. Rise up. Block distribution centers. Every day. Block them every day. Block them all every day. Block them all every day. Stand up. Rise up. Stand up. Rise up. Speak for justice. Every day. Speak for justice every day. Speak for justice every day. Speak for justice every day. Stand up. Rise up. Stand up. Rise up. Mobilize every day. Mobilize every day. Join AR every day.
the meat, dairy and fishing industries that are fueling our way to extinction. We do this as we call for a just and sustainable transition to a plant-based future. And we do this in resistance to all of those who are already suffering in the climate crisis, including animals who die in farms, who die in slaughterhouses, and who die in the wild as we ravage their lands and spoil their planet. This is a reminder that
pressure, think of a side forward for some, what do you want to play? How about NWA function list?
That the world needs to see, and a plant-based future now. Rise, rise, rise. Plant-based future now. Sing it with me. Rise. Future now, this song. Rise, rise, plant-based future now. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. And a plant-based future now. This I'll sing this with me. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. On a plant-based future now. And a plant-based future. Now remember that. again? What will you do when the fires rage again? What will you do when the fires rage again? Now's the time to understand. And the chorus. And we'll rise. Yes, we'll be the change that the world needs to see. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. And a plant-based future now. And a word. What will you do about the crisis we denied? What will you do about the crisis we denied? What will you do about the crisis we denied? Join us, swim against the tide. Everyone, let me hear you. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. And one day future now. We'll be the change that the world needs to see. What a plant-based future now. Amazing, isn't it? Wonderful. What do we want? Plant-based future. What do we want? Now. What do we want? Plant-based future. What do we want? Now. Wake up, get up, plant-based future now. Wake up, get up, and plant-based future now. Come on, get up, plant-based future now. Get up, and plant-based future now. Everybody, wake up, need a plant-based future now. Get up, wake up, we need a plant-based future now. Get up, wake up, we need a plant-based future now. Get up. Please be inspired. Please help.
That's good to know. All I do is follow the room and hope for the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jo. I'm here with Animal Rebellion today in central London for a day of love and resistance. We've called all vegans to come to London and occupy the centre, the heart of power in the UK, in order to bring our demands to the UK government. Firstly, that the government starts an immediate transition to a just and sustainable plant-based food system, and that they support farming and fishing communities in that transition. So yeah, basically, if that happened, well, and when it happens, because we're going to carry on taking direct action until it does, this will allow us to be able to free up 76% of land globally, and in the UK up to 50% of our land. And what we'll be able to do with that land is rewild it, and that's where our second demand to the government comes in, and that is that we demand that they use the freed up land when we transition away from animal farming and rewild that land so that we can restore biodiversity in the UK. We can start a programme of wildlife restoration where we bring back beavers and badgers and hedgehogs in their masses to our countryside. We get to fix our ecosystems, and we will then get to draw carbon down out of the atmosphere in order to mitigate the worst impacts of the climate crisis. And the leading cause of climate breakdown is animal agriculture. So this is a broken system that we live in, something that we need to fix. We currently have the capacity to feed 80 billion land animals with the amount of crops that we grow on this planet, but we struggle to feed 8 billion people. So this is a flawed system. This is something that we need to change, and this is why all these people are out on the street here demanding that this change happens now. So yeah, the march has only been growing in noise, in size, in good vibes this whole time that we've been marching through London. We met at Green Park this morning, and we've had a few stops on the way where direct action has been taking place to, you know, bring So yeah, here we are. The march is growing. We've had more and more people joining us. Some really great conversations going on with members of the public as well. We've had people flyering. We've had people that are curious as to what we're doing. Looking at this march, you know, there's a lot of fun happening, a lot of colour, a lot of singing, a lot of noise. We're here bringing, you know, positive vibes and a positive solution. We're bringing the solution to the climate crisis to the government. We're telling them that if they, you know, rewild, freed up land that we get from ending animal agriculture in the UK, we'll be able to draw down carbon out of the atmosphere and start to repair the damage that we're currently facing from the climate and ecological collapse. So yeah, there's loads of people out here, you know, coming and getting involved in direct action. It's something that needs to happen. History has shown us that the way that we get to see the social change that we want enacted is by pressuring those in power to make the changes through civil disobedience. So, you know, we look back in history to the civil rights movement, what the suffragettes did. These were all movements that were hugely unpopular at the time. But these people were standing up for what's right. They're on the right side of history. And that is the same case for the people out here today taking non-violent direct action in order to protect our future and protect the future of their loved ones. We've already spoke to a few people today on the live stream. And yeah, everybody's here with love and compassion in the hearts for, you know, non-human animals that are suffering in these exploitative systems that we live in. And we're here bringing a message of hope that if we transition to a plant-based food system, then, you know, this is going to provide us with a livable future. It's going to protect our food security, and it's going to feed everybody with, you know, plentiful plant-based food that's sustainable and isn't, you know, destroying our land, our water, our habitats, you know, causing the extinction of species. We can fix all this by transitioning to a plant-based future. So yeah, as you can see at the minute, people marching around, got loads of flags, smoke flares, colour. People have brought different signs with their different messages depicting, you know, why they're here. And some of you might be watching and thinking, I wish I was involved. You know, if you want to get involved, then the best way that you can do that is sign our call to action, which is on our social media, because there's going to be a massive campaign happening in spring next year. It's going to be even bigger and more impactful than what happened at the beginning of September when we stopped the supply of dairy to the south of England and the Midlands. And you can be a part of that if you sign up for our call to action. Somebody will be in touch. And if you're not able to get involved and take direct action personally, and you want to support us, then what we would ask is if you could please donate. There's a link in our bio. You will be able to help support us financially to carry on taking actions like the ones you're seeing today, like the ones you saw in September. And yeah, in doing that, we can carry on fighting for a livable future for everyone.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I don't know if you've seen yet, but currently Animal Rebellion is continuing to take action in the form of non-violent civil resistance on the streets of London, demanding for a plant-based future. We have currently covered the floors, or covered the streets of London in milk. We have covered the floor of Farlow's, a massive hunting store in Red Blood and Rewild at the doors. The disruption and the chaos is only going to continue unless the government listens to our two demands. The first demand is that the government support farming and fishing communities in an urgent and immediate transition to a plant-based future. Land which will be freed up will then be used for rewilding the land and bringing carbon down into the atmosphere. If we transition to a plant-based future, we can free up land over 76% of global land. The entirety of Australia, North America, China, and Europe. If you're inspired by these actions today, please find the links on our social media. Sign up to take action in 2023. Donate, and let's do everything we can to ensure that this exploitative world changes and we can secure a better future for every single person on this planet. Stay tuned for more updates.
Hi everyone, here we are at the front of the march. Some really incredible and impactful actions have happened today across London. We've had people in hunting shops, people pouring milk out of supermarkets, people doing things to, you know, get the message across to the government that they must meet our demands to transition to a plant-based future and support farmers and fishing communities in this transition. And everyone's out here today, you know, spreading that message with love in the hearts. We've had loads of singing, chatting with members of the public. And yeah, people are really enjoying themselves, having a great time and, you know, coming and getting involved in Animal Rebellion. And it's great to see. Yeah, we've just walked past a shop down there where 3 rebels had put green paint outside a hunting and fishing shop. And we're just walking past another one here where the same thing happened earlier on with red paint. Yeah, all here spreading the same message that we need to see an end to animal exploitation in all its forms, in our food system, in people hunting. Yeah, we're here standing up and saying that this exploitation needs to stop. We want to see love and compassion for all beings, and we want this broken system that we're in to be fixed by our government taking action, acting now on the animal and climate emergency. So the march carries on, as you can see. If anyone's in London and they want to come down, then great, come and get involved. If you can't make it today, then sign up for our call to action for future action that we've got coming up in spring. And if you can't, then you can support us financially by donating to our crowdfunder. Yeah, but the best thing to do now is get yourself on the streets and get involved. I'm sure everyone we've spoken to today is so pleased that they've come out and made loads of new vegan friends. And it's been a really positive experience for everyone involved. Yeah, people have been talking, people have been singing, It's been a really peaceful event to be at.
Do you want to talk about collaboration with JSO?
We're also here, you know, in solidarity with JSO, Just Stop Oil, who have been occupying Westminster since the beginning of the month to bring their demand of no new oil and gas licensing in the UK. So yeah, we're here in solidarity with them. There's some people from JSO with the orange banners, you know. So basically, yeah, we're here standing in solidarity, and yeah, it's been a really brilliant day. So we'll go over to Dora now to fill you in on what else has been happening.
So we are here in front of Farlow's, and we stayed behind the march a bit. It's gone, but we're going to catch up very soon, and you will see all that's happening, all the actions and all the fun and the singing. But I wanted to stay here for a second, because if you look behind me, if you can just show with the camera what people have done, they have actually created the plant-based future as much as they could, obviously, here with flowers, with the leaves that are going to decompose. This is all part of the vision, and what we are really talking about is activism is not destructive, it is constructive. We are showing what future could be, and a plant-based future we know is a positive step. So that's why, obviously, you can see that there are blood marks, which is showing that the government, decision makers, and the dairy industry got blood on their hands. But at the same time, it's not just about the negative and what's wrong, but it's also about we can have a good future, we can have a plant-based future, and that's what you can see here. Actually, I'm really impressed with the origami that people created and put over here as well. Again, there's a lot of flowers which we see all the way around the shop, and obviously all the beautiful flowers as well. So that's the plant-based future that we are working for, obviously, in a much larger scale, and you can have a plant-based future in the UK. Let's just keep walking and catch up with the march. We can have a plant-based future here in the UK, and that's been established by science as well, that the UK can be 100% self-sustenance with a plant-based food system, but it cannot achieve that with a food system that is still so reliant on meat and dairy, and of course any other animal industry is extremely harmful for the environment and the animals. But right here, right now, we're speaking about dairy and the meat industry, and of course fishing as well. So we know that we can grow oats, for example, in the UK, but not just for food. We can grow loofah, for example. Many people don't know. It's an amazing sponge that can be grown. It's like a cucumber, so you don't need to buy plastics either. There's so much good in plants. We know that we can have protein crops in the UK. This climate is actually really favoring those crops. So there is nothing holding us back from the transition and to help farmers, except the ambition of the government that it hasn't been shown. And if you follow what's happening in Parliament, what's being discussed, we don't have any hope that currently Liz Truss or the government as a whole, or even the new king has any ambition to transition to a plant-based food system. So we are calling them now to take the step and to work with the people, because right now we have 2 to 3 years left. Sir David King said that's the time we have left to determine the future of humanity. That's not to be taken lightly. So Sir David King is a former chief scientific advisor of the UK government. There are current scientific advisors as well, but the advantage of speaking to him is that he is no longer binded by any agreement, because he's now a former advisor. So he will tell the truth, and he did tell the truth that often scientists cannot tell, and often they get. And what we do in these 2 to 3 years is extremely important. And this is one of the things the new king or the new prime minister would absolutely do, and they would be rewarded and they would be popular for it. Obviously, that's not the aim of the campaign to make anyone popular, but they would be rewarded by the public if they actually supported farmers and showed them the respect that they deserve. And like we said before today, but if you're just joining throughout the plant-based future campaign that Animal Rebellion launched in September, we have been in discussion with farmers. We went to see them at the livestock auctions and in clubhouses where farmers meet and discuss. And we realize it's a really small community. And they're really worried, and they care about the same things, many of the same things that we do. Food security, how are we going to feed the nation, what's going to happen to the animals. And so what we found is that they really want a just transition as well. And that's exactly what we are here for, is to demand this just transition, the road. But if you are just joining, is the vegan in London. We are here with hundreds of people demanding a plant-based future and justice for animals. Many vegans came as well, not just Animal Rebellion volunteers, but they're from environmental movement as well. Just Stop Oil, Extinction Rebellion. A plant-based food system is in everybody's interest. So naturally, everybody is here to support this message. A huge step for the vegan movement as well, because for the last decade, it's been to unite and change it for once and for all, for everybody. So, like I said, it's a really big day for veganism, for animal rights, for the environmental movement, and for as well, really demanding a solution, besides obviously exposing the industry for what it is. But we know the answer, and that is a plant-based food system we absolutely are working for.
Y el último día no pensaba nada. Yeah, ready. We are here at Trafalgar Square now with the big vegan takeover in the center of the country, in London, in the center of the city. And yeah, we just arrived to Trafalgar Square and people are sitting down. It seems like they're blocking the roads, they are blocking traffic. We know that blocking the capital is massively disruptive, and we are very sorry if it wasn't any harm to anyone, but we know this works. We know from history that the only way to make change is to cause massive disruption, and that's what's happening right now and has been happening throughout September when Animal Rebellion volunteers were blocking dairy distribution centers. And this is only the beginning still. We are only 3.5 years old with this movement. We have no time to waste, so we are going to continue to do this. And while people are sitting down in Trafalgar Square, I'm going to interview someone I met on the way, and I'm going to ask him to tell me about why he's here today. I'm going to give him the microphone.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm here today because right now there is a genocide happening against the animals of this planet and against the humans of this planet. We are facing the end of existence for everything that has ever existed. This is the biggest crisis that has ever happened to humanity. It's the biggest crisis that has ever happened to the animal kingdom. And the government are not doing anything about it. They are only pushing for policies that are pushing us over 1.5. In fact, the Paris Agreement, when that was made, it was already realised that 1.5 was impossible to stay under. And for the last 7 years, governments have perpetuated the lie. And now we find ourselves reaching 40 degrees. We find ourselves with a tripled amount of chickens in the whole planet. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for us. It's not sustainable for anything around us. So the reason that we need to do this today is because direct action in a non-violent way is the only way that we can create fast change, because we can mitigate the crisis. We need to do it for ourselves. We need to do it for the animals of the world. And if we don't, what's the point of doing anything else? Nothing is going to exist. Society is going to collapse. There's going to be no food on the shelves. We need to transition to a plant-based future now, otherwise there won't be any food in the future at all. And this is why we need to do this. This is why people are sitting down here on the road here. It's been found in courts over the last couple of days that sitting in the road to disrupt people for this cause is proportionate to the crisis that we find ourselves in. Nothing comes close to what is proportionate to trying to stop the end of existence on this planet. Nothing comes close. But non-violence is the only way that we can do it while upholding love and showing empathy for everyone else around us. We're doing this because we need to. We're doing this because we want to do it for ourselves, for our future, and for every animal and every human around us. If we don't, it's dead. And we can't just stand here and take it. This is why we sit. There's no other way around this.
That is extremely powerful. And why did you come today? What took you out of your sofa or home, wherever you are? How did you find Animal Rebellion, and what do you think about working with this movement?
I love Animal Rebellion. They don't give a shit. They just do things because they know it's right. And that is exactly what movements need to be doing. I mean, Larry Kramer himself said, we didn't give a fuck, and that was our strength. And look at all these people. They don't give a fuck. They know exactly why they're here. Oh, Joe's ready. Yeah, I'm here today because of this. Look at all of these people. These are people who give a shit about themselves, the planet, and everything else around them. I want to spend as much time with these people as I can, because these people are the ones that are going to actively change the future. Not people sitting in their ivory towers, not people sitting in the House of Commons who are just there to collect their daily paycheck, get their subsidies from us, and then further subsidise things that are killing us, such as fossil fuels, such as animal agriculture. If we continue like this, everything is going to end. And also, it's a nice day out.
That's amazing, extremely powerful words, thank you. And there is a speech going on right now, like, amazing. We are going to have an interview from Joe. Passing it to you, Joe.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with the guy over there who just spoke. This is a really brilliant day out, and along this day out I made friends with this lovely lady here who's going to just chat to me a bit about why she's here today. So yeah, tell us what brought you here.
Yeah, so essentially I went vegan because I believe that how can I call myself an animal lover when I'm abusing animals by my dietary choices. And as a nurse as well, we are supposed to be compassionate, which is our core principles. And how can you be compassionate when you're only compassionate to one being? So I'm here to fight for those beings that have no one to fight for and they have no voice to give. Yeah, because I believe that they shouldn't be suffering. Like billions, I think, billions, trillions of animals die every year and are suffering. And also just the climate aspect. We are predicted to have 3 billion climate refugees by 2050, and the way that we're going, we need to turn it around, and a plant-based future is the only future we have. And if we all went plant-based in the world. We could rewild 75% of agricultural land, and that could put us into carbon negative, and that could absolutely change our future. Yeah.
Yep, the key solution, as you say. Yep, and this is what we're here bringing to the government. So what's it been like today? Have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, it's been good. Everyone's come together. It's like a good comrade. Everyone's just so peaceful, so kind, so gentle. You know, there's those kind of people where you'd say you need a tissue and someone just comes and gives you one. It's like everyone seriously like supports each other, and it's just such an environment of peace and love, and it's just been amazing to sort of spread that message with all these amazing people around me. Yeah,
brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that. We've got some speeches going on now in Trafalgar Square, so we'll cut to that.
I'm sure I don't have to tell any of you here that we are in a climate emergency and currently in a pivotal state where decisions made in the next 2 to 3 years will impact humanity's basic necessities to survive. The mass disasters we are already seeing in the form of floods in Pakistan, massive wildfires in Australia and 40-degree temperatures in England should be enough to kick even the least concerned of us into action. Just this week, I've been watching and supporting Just Stop Oil's occupation of Westminster, so big shout out to Just Stop Oil people. And like the amazing work they have been putting on, the pressure that they're putting on the government to stop any new gas and oil projects. The impact fossil fuels has on the climate is well known by even the most average person. However, the animal agriculture is responsible for more global greenhouse gas emissions than all transport combined, and yet most people aren't aware that a simple choice such as what they eat can be the most direct way that they personally can reduce the damage to this world. Go vegan. The work Animal Rebellion are doing currently, especially with engaging in conversations with farming community while maintaining a non-violent approach, makes me feel incredibly hopeful for the future. I strongly believe we can make a difference and make this world a safer place for generations to come. I became vegan because I love animals. I became an activist because to be vegan is not enough in a society that does not listen unless we remind them that we are here to stay. Thank you.
Cool, thank you so much, Izzy. And yeah, is there anyone else that's up for doing a quick speech about why they're here, or like, yeah, why they do what they do? Or maybe this is the first time you've done anything and you want to just say what your experience has been like today. Anyone up for it? Come on. Kat's up for it. Come on, Kat.
Hi, Kat, I guess. I don't really know what to say, but I've been arrested like 11 times, 12 times, but I do it for the animals and the planet, because I think it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to take, and, you know, for the animals, we're all that we have. They're relying on their oppressors to free them. The billions that are suffering right now is real to each and every one of them. And, you know, if we actually care about others, we would do the same. Not just for the animals, even though that's really important, but for, you know, the recent heat waves in Pakistan, or the climate refugees that are estimated, and just so much more devastation that we're causing to the planet. Amazon deforestation, from animal agriculture, antibiotic resistance, and so much problems that we, that we commit. And I don't want to bore you with too much of the facts, but yeah, I just think that we should all come together and take action if we really, just join Animal Rebellion.
Thank you so much, Kat. So awesome. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else is jumping at the chance to grab this mic. Yeah? Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Hi
everyone, my name is Yolita. You can call me Yoli, but I'm here today just to say that I love you and to thank you for all of my heart that you're here fighting for a better future. It's time to wake up because the two mistakes that humanity has done is to say that we are separate from nature, that we're above nature, and we should exploit nature. This was the first mistake. The second mistake was when we said that we are our thoughts. It's time to stop letting... Sorry about that. It's time to wake up. It's time to realize that we are brainwashed, humane-washed, greenwashed with all of the advertisements just to let some billionaires fuck up our planet, fuck up the animals, and fuck up our future. And it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Stop questioning everything. And it's time to be the change you want to see in the world. Thank you so much. I love you.
Okay, I think we've got time for like maybe one more person if anyone really wants to. Yeah.
Thanks. Hello everyone. So yeah, I just wanted to say, when I was a child, I was told, I studied questionnaire, I loved animals, I was told it's okay to eat them because they're less intelligent than us. I didn't get it then, it made no sense to me. I thought a lot of what adults say doesn't make sense to me now. I'm an adult now and it still doesn't make any sense to me. It's absolute nonsense, right? I think, well, like, we don't know what's out there. Like, say, about 100 billion light years away, there could be another planet with animals or some sort of creatures much more intelligent than us stupid humans. I think it's so stupid to think that we can eat other animals because they're less intelligent. So I think, yeah, we're stupid. There could be animals that are thousands of times more intelligent than us, right? What if they have animals on their planet less intelligent so they think it's okay to eat them, but they're still more intelligent than us humans? If that makes sense. It doesn't make any sense at all to say, oh yeah, they're less intelligent than us, so we can eat them. They don't care about being killed to be eaten because they're less intelligent, right? We're not that intelligent. Some humans are less intelligent than others. Doesn't mean we want to eat them. Doesn't mean we think that that will be okay. So yeah, still as an adult, it makes absolutely no sense at all whatsoever to exploit or kill or eat other animals. It's absolute bullshit. So that's why I'm here. That's why I've been vegan for nearly 7 years and I'm never going back. And I will never stop speaking up, ever, as long as I live. Thank you.
Cool. So yeah, just before we go, I just wanted to say, well, yeah, actually, yeah, we'll tell you the plan in a sec. But yeah, thank you to the brave people that just came in spontaneously, took the mic. And I hope that everyone here today can consider how they can do more for the animals and for the planet. And yeah, like maybe this is the first time you've done anything. Maybe you've been an activist for a long time, but maybe you need to take the next step and consider quitting your job and doing this like full time. What can you do to make that happen? And there are so many people here that are literally doing this full time. Is all they do, and they just basically find ways to survive. And we can all do better. We can all do more, I feel like. And yeah, hopefully people have connected today and made friends, and you can go out and take action together. And if not now, when? And if not, who? You. So yeah, I hope everyone today is going to go away from this this action and do more for the animals and the planet, because it's amazing. This group of people have shown up today against all odds. Like, we've got COVID on the rise and we've had a train strike and people still made it today. So like, I'm just happy that anyone showed up. But yeah, so thank you. And yeah, so many people have traveled from all over the country. Yeah, and like, it's been a lot of effort for a lot of people. So thank you. And yeah, I hope we can go away from today and start planning whatever we need to do to achieve a complete animal liberation and a plant-based future. But yeah, thank you.
which was a big thing for me. But seeing my actions take direct impact into the world, like going to my local supermarket and seeing empty shelves, was insane. Like, it was amazing. Yeah, that was so cool. I was really nervous. I've never
Down, summer in the city, back of my neck getting dirty and sweaty. Been down, isn't it a pity? Doesn't seem to be a shadow in the city. All around, people looking hefty, walking on the sidewalk, hotter than a match, yeah. But tonight it's different, girl. Go out and find a girl. Come on, and dance all night. Just like you will be alright. And babe, don't you know there's a pity in the days? Can't you like the nights in the summer, in the city, in the summer, in the city. Cool town, meeting in the city. Dressed so fine and looking so pretty. Cool cat, looking for a kitty. Gonna look in every corner of the city. Till I'm let's stop running upstairs, gonna beat you all
Hi everyone, some really great speeches there, people coming on and sharing their passionate message about why they're here. I'm now going to interview someone else who's here to share with us why they're here today. So I'll just flip round the camera and say hi. Can you tell us a bit about why you're here today?
Yeah, of course. My name's Lewis. I'm 29, and I've been here today taking action and protesting against a very unjust system, agricultural animal system. For a long time, especially I was sort of complacent when it came to animal agriculture. I was under the impression that it was normal and it was just and sustainable to farm animals in the manner that we do. I think a lot of people are indoctrinated from a very young age about this sort of thing. I'm sure we all have memories of the farmyard animals that we saw in picture books and cartoons when we were younger. And as I've grown older and as I've educated myself, I've realised that that's just not the reality of the situation. The animal agriculture industry exploits animals on a scale that I didn't even believe was possible, and the numbers of animals that are tortured and murdered every year are absolutely astronomical. And not only is this incredibly unjust against these innocent sentient beings that have, they don't deserve this life, it's also destroying our planet. And I am very passionate about rewilding as well, which is another major reason why I'm here. Animal agriculture, as a consequence of being a very inefficient system, because you've got to grow crops to then feed to the animals and then the humans eat the animals. It's so much more efficient if humans were just to eat the plants in the first instance, and this could drastically reduce the amount of land use, the amount of land that we use for agriculture. That land could then be rewilded, and nature would be allowed to flourish, trees would grow, and that would offset a huge amount of carbon. In the UK, I believe it's 50% of our land is used for animal agriculture, and if we were to transition to a plant-based food system, then we'd be able to rewild that, which would draw down carbon and could be a major factor in fighting the climate crisis. And yeah, that ties into another reason why I'm here as well. Yeah, I'm so concerned about the coming years and the future that future generations are going to face if we don't take proper action to combat climate change. And we just see constant inaction from our government, especially with our latest Prime Minister, Liz Truss, who appears to be in favour of more animal agriculture, burning more fossil fuels. Like, yeah, action needs to be taken now, otherwise we're all going to suffer the consequences.
Brilliant. And you talked a bit about rewilding and about, you know, nature in the UK. So what can you explain to me a bit more about what the issue is there, like why we need to rewild?
Yeah, of course. So there are several big reasons why rewilding is so essential to the UK. Firstly, biodiversity in the UK. Biodiversity has been absolutely destroyed by animal agriculture. We create these sort of like monocultures whereby the only animals might be sort of like cows and then grass, whereas like these environments, for a long time when I was younger, like I used to look at farmland and think it was beautiful. I used to, things like the Yorkshire Dales or the Peak Districts I used to consider picturesque, but now I look over these landscapes and I just see sort of a rather sort of biomonoculture of different crops, but there should be a whole lot more biodiversity there, and there just isn't as a consequence of our food system. And yeah, like I said before as well, the other big reason to rewild is to draw back carbon. And the main issue that we face with climate change is the amount of carbon that we're outputting. And for a long time, I didn't really understand sort of a viable solution to offset that. But it was staring me in the face the entire time. Trees, have been here for millions of years and they do a fantastic job. They're drawing carbon and produce oxygen, which is exactly what we need right now. So by transitioning to a plant-based food system, we'd be able to increase the amount of trees in the United Kingdom drastically. And yeah, this would be beneficial to both animals and humans.
Brilliant. And how was your experience being today in London?
Fantastic. Yeah, I've met so many amazing people and it's such a nice community. It's so nice to be surrounded by vegans and people that I share sort of like the same worldview as. And yeah, it's been a fantastic opportunity to spread a message that I believe so strongly in.
Thank you so much, Lewis. I'll just pass back the camera, and yeah, just to reiterate to you all, to anyone who's just joined, if you want to get involved in Animal Rebellion in any way, then yeah, visit our social media, our website. There's links on there to everything that you need to know. We've got a call to action out at the minute, because you may have heard of a campaign that we did a month ago in September called Stop the Supply, where rebels went out into distribution centres of Arla and Muller, big companies that distribute dairy around the UK, and they stopped that supply to bring our demand to the government to help farmers and fishing communities transition to a plant-based future. And in spring of next year, we're going to be going bigger and better and more impactful, and we're going to be doing some epic actions, and we want everybody possible to get involved and get on board with those. So go online and sign our call to action, and also if getting involved in direct action is something that you can't do for whatever reason, then we would really appreciate financial support in the form of donations. So there's a link there on our social media to basically donate what you can, and that can help us to carry on doing these things that we do, these big actions to achieve getting our demands met by the government, and to see a livable future for us all, which is what all these people today we've spoken to are here for. We want to protect our future and see justice for all beings. So yeah, it's been a brilliant day. We're in Trafalgar Square at the moment. There's been plenty of marching and actions. And as you can see, everyone's just been sat watching some speeches, which were really brilliant. It's just been positive vibes all around. We've had members of the public coming and getting involved. And I'll see if I can ask some more people. Would you be interested in chatting to us on the live stream about why you're here today? Yeah? Or just about how your experience has been in the march. Have you had a good time?
Oh yeah, really good time.
Yeah.
Everybody coming together, united, under one aim, one cause. to get a plant-based future. Yeah.
Mhm. And why do you believe that, you know, it's vital for us to get a plant-based future?
Well, for the environment, for animal welfare. I don't agree with it. It's not morally right. I think we suffer because of it emotionally without knowing it. So yeah, and for the next generation, we need to, and not just plant-based future. We've got to look at the whole industry, farming, all the chemicals we put into ourselves, all the chemicals we put into the environment, even to grow our plant-based. You know, it goes one step further, but this is the start. That's why I'm here.
Brilliant.
And I brought my
Yeah.
daughter.
Amazing. And you're here, yeah, for your family as well, on behalf of them.
My grandchildren.
We've had a lot of people saying the same thing, how important it is for them to be, you know, standing up to protect the future for loved ones.
It's everybody's future, isn't it? Even the people that are against us. It's their future as well, although they're not awakening yet. But we'll shout until we are awakened.
We'll be heard, definitely will. Thank you so much. Brilliant to chat to you. So yeah, there we go. Yet another person who's here on the streets of Animal Rebellion to protect their loved ones. Everyone's here today acting in love and in resistance against a system that's just not working, a system that's broken, a system that results in harm and suffering of sentient beings. And it's just so great to see people here with a message of hope. And you know, with just the desire to see the change in the world that we need to see from our government. And we're going to keep coming out on the streets, and we're going to keep taking action until our two key demands are met. And yeah, everybody just seems so motivated and enthusiastic to be here. And it's just been really positive vibes all day, really. Yeah. We've got Samba Band now, you know, picking up the tempo, you know, bringing the good vibes again. It's always good to pick the mood up and to bring positivity to the protest. People dancing around and bopping around to the samba. Still really heavy police presence around here. There was some aggression from the police at an action earlier on today, and as we always say in Animal Rebellion, we're non-violent. We come out and we act in peace, and everybody responded to the police with non-violence, and it turned into a massive sing-song, which we might have seen on the live stream. And it was just so beautiful to see people out here standing up for the right thing, you know, being peaceful and non-violent, and, you know, no escalations to the situation. It just, everyone remained really calm, and yet the tensions were, you know, gone as soon as people, you know, responded in a peaceful and a non-violent way. And yet people are still here bringing the good vibes. The march is moving on now, so we're just gonna, you know, head into there, see if there's anybody else that might want to speak to us about what brings them here today. See a lot of people have different signs, different flags with their own messages that matter to them about how we need to stop animal exploitation in our food system, for sport, for hunting. You know, all these different angles of exploitation towards animals have been addressed today. Excuse me, would you like to just chat for me for 2 minutes on the live stream about why you're here today?
Why am I here today? I'm here. Yeah, sure. We're right into that.
Yeah.
I'm here because our politicians, our government, it's just completely and utterly useless. They are corrupt as hell. They own the pockets of billionaires and corporations who profit from destroying our home. Our planet is getting warmer and warmer. The more carbon emissions that go into the atmosphere is a death sentence to people. So flooding that's been happening in Pakistan, the heat waves that have been happening into India, that is because of carbon emissions going up into the air. And our new Prime Minister, unelected by the general public, has just, like, she's just licensed an extra 100 new oil fields. Like, they're literally narcissistic sociopaths that only care about corporate wealth and their own social status. And I'm here, and also I'm here because non-human animals like cows and pigs and sheep, are exploited every single day in an industry that is like untold horrors, untold destruction. It's like you wouldn't wish it on your own worst enemy, like the pain and suffering that these individuals go through, and it's all for something as meaningless as a sandwich filling. So what Animal Rebellion is demanding is a plant-based future, and it's not only we've got a solution. It's not like we're just coming along and saying, oh, here's the problem. We're coming up with a solution as well. So the solution is that we eradicate animal agriculture and fishing. We could feed the population, I think, on, I don't know, something like 60% less of the land. I can't remember the figures exactly, whatever it is. And then with all that freed up land that we have, we can then rewild, which would mean we can grow woods and forests and trees that can draw down carbon. So basically, at this moment in time, like the Amazon rainforest is being bulldozed and decimated, not just the Amazon rainforest, all rainforests around the world, for like corporate greed. So the more trees that we cut down means more CO2 emissions in the atmosphere, and then less resources to actually draw carbon down. So if we transition to a plant-based food system, we would basically, 1, free up loads of land, 2, stop exploiting animals, and 3, we would be able to then actually draw down the carbon that is heating this planet up to the point where it's going to be uninhabitable. Like there's going to be potentially like 1 billion climate change refugees in the next like 10, 20 years. Like a couple of years ago, like 10,000 Syrians went through Europe, and it caused like utter mayhem. And we're talking a number 1,000 or 10,000 times bigger. Like it's unimaginable. Like what's going to happen? Like if we don't make change, social collapse is going to happen. And I'm out on the street because I refuse to sit by while these greedy politicians, who are utterly evil, destroy our home. I refuse to sit by and do nothing. I have to do something. So if anyone's listening, come out, get on the streets, go to an expensive store like Harrods or Ford & Masons and pick up their bottles of milk and just pour them out on the floor, because they are symbols. So if people are watching this and they don't understand that action, right? So there's this thing called the negative piece. So that means basically that right now, people are we're completely normalised the exploitation of cows and all these other animals, and people are profiting from the exploitation of cows. People are profiting from the destruction of our only home. And so by going into these stores like Harrods, which is like no working class people is going into Harrods. Harrods has been chosen for a reason, because it's owned by a billionaire. And when we pour these bottles of milk out onto the floor, we're basically saying it's morally reprehensible to profit from the exploitation of someone else, and it's morally reprehensible to profit from the destruction of our planet. And these products should not be sold. The only individual that should be consuming milk is the child that the mother was, created for. Like, humans are not baby cows. Like, we should not. We have absolutely zero need for cow's milk. The point of cow's milk is to get a baby cow into a big cow as quickly as possible. And actually, it causes us loads of heart and health complications. So the biggest leading cause of the biggest killer in humans is heart disease, and that comes from eating like saturated fats, which comes from eating animal products. So that clogs up our arteries, and and a whole foods plant-based diet. Obviously, I'm not talking about like Oreos and Coca-Cola. You could live a plant-based diet potentially on that, but one that's well balanced, well rounded. You're getting all your vitamins, all your everything that you need. Can actually reverse heart disease. So it's like, not only is it actually beneficial to the planet, not only is it beneficial to the individuals who are exploited in this system, it's also beneficial to us as an individual to live this way. Like the way we're living at this moment in time is completely unsustainable. If we keep on living this way, we are literally going to annihilate ourselves. Like we won't have a planet to live on if we keep on living this way. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Brilliant stuff. So yeah, there you go. Another one of our rebels explaining their reasons to be here today. And as you can see, everybody's really passionate about this transition to a plant-based future. For a whole host of reasons. This is the solution to climate and ecological breakdown. It's going to stop suffering of sentient beings in the animal agriculture industry, and it's going to give us a livable future ultimately. And you know, that's what we're all here demanding of our government, because that's what we deserve. So yeah, the march continues.
I don't know if I'm on, but if I'm on, we are here at 10 Downing Street. It's really poignant, actually. Just 3 months ago in August, about 500 of us were here with the National Animal Rights March. And it was the 7th of August, I think, or sometime around that date. We were standing exactly right here, just behind me, if you turn the camera a bit. And we delivered a letter. And that letter was signed by hundreds of people who were at the march. And the letter said, this was addressed to Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, and it said, this is your chance to transition to a plant-based food system and a plant-based future. He was just about to leave office, and with all the mass around him, that would have been such an amazing last step. And we sent the same message to Liz Truss when she started her work, and we said this would be the most important thing you could ever do. You have so much power in your hand. As of today, we haven't heard back from Liz Truss, and we never heard back from Boris Johnson either. But the work we do is absolutely pivoted towards decision makers, especially the government, especially the Prime Minister, and of course the Crown as well, because they hold so much power, and whatever they decide is going to determine how humanity and the future will progress. And one of the very positive things they could and should be doing right now is to support farmers to transition to plant-based farming. And we know it's possible. We have been in discussion with Lawrence Candy. He is a former dairy farmer who made the transition himself. And he's an absolute pioneer. He made the decision to leave animal farming, leave his dairy company, and do a really courageous shift all on his own. And he did it. And actually, we made an interview with him a few months ago, and he told us about his harvest that he just made. It was an oat harvest, excuse me, and we have a video with him you can find on our website and on our YouTube channel. He was showing all the crops, all the grains behind him, and from him we know that it's absolutely possible to transition to a veganic plant-based food system, which is what he transitioned into. And he has been encouraging all the farmers in the country to use the tools and use the support system that is available within the veganic farming community, even if subsidies and the government are not available to support this transition yet. It's possible with community support and by relying on each other, but it can't be done on a massive scale unless the government and of course the Crown doesn't decide that this is the right thing to make. So that's why we are here today at the big vegan takeover in the capital city, in the center of London, to bring this message to Liz Truss, the Prime Minister, to the Environment Agency, and to decision makers. The plant-based food system is possible, and if they are going to do this and deliver this, then we are going to make that from the ground up. But we would like to work together because we are so much more powerful if we unite. And our two demands with Anna Rebellion are first to support farmers, what I've been speaking about, the transition to plant-based farming. And the second demand is to rewild the freed up land. And we know from many, many studies that a plant-based food system is the only food system
that will help tackle the climate crisis. And we also know from a big study conducted by Joseph Poor in 2018 that a plant-based food system would actually free up 76% of land worldwide. And that land can be rewilded, which can draw that carbon from the atmosphere. And that could help restore peatlands, wetlands, natural grasslands, forests. We could cultivate edible forests in the UK. We can have oat farming, we can have veganic farming that would support all life systems on the planet. So that's why we are here. We are just coming from Trafalgar Square. It's a bit loud, let's go a bit forward. So Trafalgar Square, we got joined by the drummers from Extended. We also got joined by Oil. They are here to support us. This is a massive movement of movements. Just showing some images of Just Stop Oil, who is here to cheer us forward and to show us some love and solidarity. We also share massive love and solidarity with everybody taking action for the climate non-violently, which is what we do as well. Just some pictures of what's happening right now. Beautiful banner flying, and people are queuing up to show that they love us. They want a plant-based food system, a plant-based future, as well as phasing out fossil fuels and stopping all new fossil fuel extractions and investments. So we are marching to Parliament Square. Not sure where this is going to end, but I have a feeling we are going to end up in Parliament Square and then stay there for the rest of the day. If you are in London right now, make sure to come down, join us, join this amazing vegan takeover, which has been absolutely phenomenal. People have been pouring milk on the street, people have been pouring fake blood on the street, but also we set up our vision for a plant-based future. And at every location that we disrupted, we put down flowers and leaves to show that we have the vision, we have the solutions, and all we need is for our decision makers to hear us and work with us on that future. So let's find someone and see what they think about this. I'm going to just walk into someone. Hey, hello. Could I? There's a bit of an argument behind us, so we are going to ignore that. And I would like to ask why you are here today.
Why I'm here today? I'm here because I really believe that the world is in a disastrous situation. It's devastating. Every individual, beautiful individual that lives and relies on this planet is dying, is suffering. And it's really, it tears at your soul, at my heart, and in my mind. I don't understand it. And we have the science, we have the knowledge, we have the ability. I mean, we can go to Mars. Well, near enough go to Mars. We've gone to the moon how many times? It's just ridiculous. We've got the brains to sort this out. And it's really simple. I mean, all it is we have to change the food system. Make the food system more balanced, make it more productive, make it more safe and sustainable for all lives, for every single life. That's why I'm here, because I really believe that we need to make the point, we need to get the conversation started. And the only way to get the conversation started is to actually go to the capital, or go to the main sort of bloodlines, if you want to call it, of the destructive industries that are killing the planet and to disrupt.
Have you been an activist yourself?
I am an activist, yeah, and I will always be an activist until the day I die.
What have you done recently? Because I think I heard you were involved in the dairy campaign. Would you like to speak about that?
I'm not sure if I'm actually should be speaking about that because I haven't gone to court yet.
That's fine.
So,
that's fine. What do you think about non-violence? Because we just saw in the background there was someone shouting and yelling. It wasn't anyone from our group. Obviously, it was a violent attempt to disrupt this march. It didn't work out. What do you think about non-violence? What does it mean to you?
Well, non-violence is producing tension, but without the violence, without the actual blame, without the shame, without the pain, the destruction, the damage, the possible, death that results in all violence. So that gentleman before, it's not his fault. It's an example of a toxic system where he believes what he believes, and he is angry and he is frustrated and is venting it out on people who he doesn't even really know. And this for me is a real example of how bad and how toxic and how awful the system is and what it creates. It creates anger, it creates confusion, it creates people and also animals who are lost, who are stuck, who don't know, can have now lost what's right between, the balance of right and wrong. And that was a prime example of that. And this gentleman, I hope, finds peace and happiness in his life and in his own activism.
What is your vision of a plant-based food system? How do you see that would look like? Because I think it's really important that we don't speak about something we can't envision ourselves. What do you think it would be like?
Well, it's a plant-based food system. I think for me, we're talking about changing the agricultural system, changing food production, and rewilding the land. I'm sure we've spoken about this quite a lot. But I think a plant-based food system will actually create more balance and harmony within the individuals, within us, within our communities, within our families. And as a result, it will reduce the fear and the confusion and the anger, and it will reduce all the oppression that we feel in the world and that is created in this world. And I think it's just a really simple step that we actually grow food, we grow plants, we eat plants, and they produce seeds, we then grow them again, we eat them, we produce seeds, we grow them again, we eat them. It's a wonderful cycle, and it's a really simple cycle that every one of us and every one of you can do right here and right now.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. May I ask what your occupation is? What do you do in life?
I'm a gardener. So I call myself an ethical gardener, but it's a really weird thing because in gardening, I'm fighting nature constantly. I'm pushing nature back. I'm pulling up the dandelions, which are great for the bumblebees, really good food for bumblebees.
An amazing coffee, dandelion root.
And amazing coffee, and you can make non-abusive honey from the flowers, which is great as well. So we have so gardening it's a fight because we want greenery around us, we want nature around us, and beautiful people, really want that around them. That's why they have their gardens. That's why over 10 million acres of the land in the UK are gardens. But if we could rewild that land so that the people who have the gardens themselves and the people and the animals and the people around them connect up, we can create amazing corridors within gardens, within communities. And therefore all the animals, the hedgehogs, the deer, the squirrels, the birds, the insects can all sort of become a really wonderful community and interact with each other. Beautiful.
It's really interesting to hear it from a gardener who works with nature every single day, that all of these solutions can start to exist on a small level, because we speak a lot about system change, which absolutely needs to happen, but there is something people can do in their gardens to start with, and it's massive, isn't it?
Oh, it's huge. One of the biggest things is to never use chemicals. That's the biggest thing. Just don't use any kind of chemicals. It might take longer to weed by hand, but what's time? How can you just say I'm not doing that? I'm not going to weed by hand because it takes time, and you put down chemicals which will not only kill those the plants, but it will kill the insects. It will get into the water system and possibly damage humans and all animals, marine life, whether it be fresh water or seawater. It'll just get into the system. So you can then also. The question was if we can do what we can do. What was the question again? I've lost.
Well, we just lost the march a little bit, so we are going to keep up. We've got a distance. Thank you so much for all these tips.
And just before you go, a community, a garden, just join your community, talk with the people around you and those fences. Bring down those walls and create a community garden where children and where it can flourish.
Thank you, Pete. Wow, that was very precious to hear that from someone who worked hard. That obviously a plant-based food system is needed, and rewilding is absolutely the solution. And you can actually start rewilding in your home, while you also help us to bring on that systemic change that we need to grow food for people.
España, no tenemos redes.
Chocolate pegado. ¿Ah?
He's like 38. I tell the other guy, like, so, you know.
Exactly, that's why.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm here today with Animal Rebellion in the centre of London, where we are here taking direct action in order to get the UK government to meet our key demands, which are to start an immediate transition to a plant-based future. And one where we bring fishing and farming communities with us and don't leave them behind in this transition, and we are able to support them to rewild the land that's being used for animal farming, and in doing that we can draw down carbon out of the atmosphere, which is a key solution to the climate crisis. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to chat to a couple more rebels about why they're here today. So is it alright if we just have a quick chat to you about with why you're here? So how's your day been so far?
Amazing, great day. It's been amazing. Yeah, we're here because we've the only livable future is a plant-based future, and we're here not to put pressure on the government to commit to helping farmers to transition to plant-based farming and to commit to rewilding the land, to help with carbon drawdown and basically save the planet. And the earlier we make this transition, the better, because it's going to happen at some point, and we're either going to be ready for it or we're not, and we've got to do it. And it's also for animal rights reasons, because animals have rights. They don't deserve to be abused, or they don't deserve to suffer needlessly under our hands. So yeah, that's why we're here.
And how has it been today? Like, have you met any new people?
Yeah, I've met loads of people, yeah. I've had, it's been an amazing day. Everyone's been in a great mood, and we've all got along with each other, and it's really empowering just to make some noise and yeah, and stand together.
Brilliant. And if I can just ask you one last question, why do you think it's important that we take direct action like in this way, you know, being out on the streets, having sit-ins like this? We're currently, everyone's sat on Westminster Bridge.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's important?
We have to cause disruption to show that we're in a desperate time, and I also advocate for breaking the law as well and doing arrestable actions. As well as like more docile protests like this, because the more disruption we cause, the more the government will have to listen to us, and the more of a message will be sent to the general public, and the more awareness will be raised.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing that with us. That's great. And yeah, we've just got some speeches going on at the bridge at the minute. Like I said, Animal Rebellion are currently occupying Westminster Bridge, and the speeches have just wrapped up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another interview with one of the rebels. Am I allowed to just chat to you about why you're here today?
Encouraging everyone to stay here as long as possible, make some noise, have fun.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, yeah.
And how's your day been today with Animal Rebellion?
Really amazing, really good day.
And why are you here? So what's your reason personally?
I'm here because I feel like public opinion is really shifting on the climate emergency. People can't deny what's happening around them. In the UK, we had 40 degrees summer this summer, and of course across the world it's been hitting people hard for decades, but finally it's coming here, and everyone's talking about energy and they're talking about fossil fuels, but they're not talking about the agricultural system that is literally completely destroying the biodiversity and ecology in our country and around the world, and is so responsible for the things that we're seeing happening. And we need to keep talking about it, and we need to show people that this is as important as fossil fuels, if not more important, because it's so ignored by the people in Parliament there. So it's just amazing to be with so many people, see so many new faces, and to talk to people on the street and to be like, this is the solution. And to talk about solutions is fucking beautiful. Sorry. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And why do you think it's important that people are sitting in the bridge, taking direct action on the streets today?
Because it's so much. Wait, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yes, so basically people here today are taking direct action and engaging in civil disobedience. Yeah. Why do you think it's important that we are using these tactics?
Yeah. Because we're so rapidly running out of time to do things, and the things that we've done, stopping the supply of dairy and the actions that have happened today, to some people seem completely extreme and way too much, and in a few years it's going to seem almost not enough. This is why we have to keep going, and people are risking their liberty and being arrested and going to prison for these things, and it's just maybe to an outsider it's mind-blowing, but you read a scientific report, you don't it's not it's there, and they're not, the people in power are not listening, so we need to make them listen, and these are tactics that have worked throughout history. So yeah.
And finally, I just want to say, so we've been mentioning how today we're here in solidarity with Just Stop Oil, who have been occupying Westminster since the beginning of this month to bring their demand of no new oil and gas to the government. Do you have anything to add about that?
Yeah, I just think the collaborations have to grow, and we have to support each other, and we have to stop new oil, we have to invest in renewables and insulation, for God's sake. We have to give people the dignity to live in a warm home and to provide for them. But we also need to think about all the species that are being lost, and the animals that are used for farming, and we have to also think about them and think about the land and think about those solutions, not just energy. But we have to do both. So all power to them and all power to the animal people here. So
definitely, we've been talking about how to have this key solution of bringing a plant-based future here to the UK globally is going to be something that can buy us time so that we can switch to renewable energy. So you can see how it's so important that both of these things are connected and being brought to people's attention, and these demands are being made to the government because they have to be met. But thank you so much for speaking to us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So there we go, two brilliant interviews with rebels on the street here, talking again about their reasons for being here today. And as I mentioned during those interviews, Animal Rebellion have now occupied Westminster Bridge, and people are prepared to stay here until they're removed, essentially, because this disruption needs to happen in order for these demands to be met. And history has shown us in the past that civil resistance is the only way that social change that needs to come about has been enacted in the past. Our ancestors have shown this, that when met with some form of social injustice, then the right thing to do is to take direct action, come out on the streets, take the message to the heart of power, which is Westminster, tell our politicians and our leaders and our government that this change has to happen, and we're here demanding that today. And yet people are going to be sticking around and carrying on with this campaign until these demands are met. Let's take a look around. You can see what's going on the bridge. We're right in the centre of London. We're bringing our message to those in power. You know, there's so many ordinary people out here today. I've spoke to doctors, vets, teachers, parents, people that just care about the future and safeguarding and protecting the planet, our only home for everyone. It's just so inspiring to see everyone here, you know, standing up for what's right and being on the right side of history.
I think we can go on anymore.
Yep, so yeah, as you can see, there's so many different people. People have come from all over the UK. I've spoken to people who've come from the north, from Scotland, from Ireland, from abroad as well, from all over the world. And all these people are here, you know, united in the message that we need a transition to a plant-based future. And it's just so incredible to be a part of. If you want to be a part of this incredible movement and come and, you know, make friends with all these brilliant people that are here fighting for the right things, then you can come down and see us. We're going to be here for the rest of the evening for as long as we can be on Westminster Bridge. And we're also going to be taking even bigger, better action in the spring. You know, we're going to be building upon previous campaigns like the Stop the Supply dairy campaign that happened a month ago, and we're mobilising people all the time. You know, strangers have just been coming up and getting involved in the march and asking questions and, you know, just wanting to learn more about what it is that we're like standing for here. And yet more and more people are getting involved every day. Numbers are growing, and what happens in spring is going to absolutely be epic. If you want to be on the right side of history and you want to be a part of this campaign, then we have a call to action on our website where you can sign up, and someone from Animal Rebellion will be in touch with roles that you could potentially fulfill as part of this campaign to help make it happen. And yet we need as many people as we can, you know, getting involved in this and furthering our aims and getting us to, you know, have a livable future on this planet, which is why we're all here and what we're all demanding. And if you can't be on the streets, you know, getting involved in direct action, then please consider donating to financially support us. We have a link on the live stream and on our social media where you can make donations to help support us to carry on, you know, doing these actions, getting out, getting people on the street, supporting activists to take direct action to demand a livable future for everyone. And yeah, it's really vital that, you know, everybody comes and gets involved in this campaign so we can make the change that we need to see. So yeah, we'll just show you what's happening on the bridge. As you can see, there's some police, people have been doing chalking. People asking for a vegan world. We've had loads of vegans coming together to occupy London together, to build communities, to build relationships with each other. We've had people walking around with these banners that say plant-based future on. And people are prepared to basically stay here on Westminster Bridge until they get removed, because people are prepared to, you know, break the law, because unjust laws are there to be broken and we live in an unjust system, and people are prepared to, you know, make this sacrifice in the now to see a more positive future for everyone. And it's just so inspiring to see, you know, to hear people's stories. We've had some brilliant, you know, guests interviewed on our live stream. We've all had different reasons and different motivations for being here. And yeah, it's just so beautiful to see people united in this cause. So yeah, no traffic on Westminster Bridge at the minute, and people are prepared to stay here until the point of arrest, because that's what it takes to demand the future that we want to see from a government who we see growth in action on climate issues and also on the animal emergency. Yeah, so people are here demanding that future.
What's your name?
Alexa.
And how old are you?
Hi everyone, so we're going to start to wrap up the live stream for today. I just want to thank everybody who's taken the time to tune in and find out what's going on, and just direct you to a few things to point out that will be happening in the coming months for you to be able to come and get involved in direct action like this. So Animal Rebellion specifically, as I've been mentioning, are going to be taking direct action in the form of another bigger, better campaign in the, similar to what we did when we stopped the supply. But we're going to have new aims, there's going to be a lot to find out, and you can keep your eye on our social media, sign our call to action, and people will be in touch with you with details on what roles you can take in being a part of that campaign. There's also a day of action that Extinction Rebellion are doing on the 14th of October here in London. So go and check out their social media and get involved in that. Sign up to come down, you know, take action. And Just Stop Oil are going to be down here at the Heart of Power in London, around Westminster and Parliament Square. Basically taking direct action every day this month to highlight the fact that the government need to stop licensing new oil and gas. And yet they're going to be here until their demands are met. So you can come down, join them on the streets and support what they're doing, because it's absolutely great stuff. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. There's going to be more of the same here for the rest of the evening, people occupying Westminster Bridge. So keep tuned on our socials, there'll be updates throughout the day. But yeah, we're going to wrap up the live stream for now. Thank you all for being involved. Thank you for everyone that's been down here today in London on the streets, bringing positive vibes. It's just been really lovely to be a part of. And for the last time, our demands are for the government to transition to a plant-based future, and secondly to support farmers and fishing in this, so that fishing communities in this, so that they can rewild land that used to be used for animal farming, and start to increase biodiversity and draw down carbon out of the atmosphere. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed seeing what's gone on today, and I hope you've been inspired to take action yourself in the near future. Thank you.
Animal Rebellion supporters have been peacefully demanding that the government transition to a plant-based food system. We know that a plant-based future is the only livable future. We're in a climate and ecological emergency, and we know that the dairy industry is a leading cause of it. We know that the government needs to take action, and like with the cost of living crisis, they've done nothing to act and to support ordinary working people. If we transition away from dairy and transition towards a plant-based food system, we can rewild over half the land in the UK, have carbon drawdown, and this will buy us time to transition away from fossil fuels and towards a livable future.
I'm taking action today with other brave people, concerned individuals from Animal Rebellion, all concerned about the future, the lack of future that our government is giving us. I do this for the future of everyone. I have a young girl at home and her future is in jeopardy due to the inaction of our government, not standing up for our farmers, not giving them a future, not giving us a future. Join us now, take action, demand the government gives us a future, a plant-based future.